What is up, assholes? Welcome back to Call to the Fan Leagues. This week, going on in the Fan Leagues, Multiplex, their Warzone Round 2 now has officially started, but also, unfortunately, due to a dropout from Sean Sandberg, they had a play-in match. I recommend you check that out. It is entertaining, as well as someone who I haven't given a lot of light to, unfortunately. Mr. Tony Heald, as always, just want to give a shout out to him. The feature presentation Trivia League is rolling very smoothly. And speaking of Tony, because you guys see the title, might as well just jump into it. This week, Tony,
Hi.
hello, and I are hosting an open forum. If anyone in the live chat or anyone at all wants to join us and and talk about what's going on in their going-ons in the families, you are welcome to come on.
Yeah, or anything in the families in general. If you have any questions or just want to pose theories or stuff like that, or just be a dick and just go, I don't like this person, this person, this person.
Yeah.
We will not listen to you, Jacoby. Piss off. You're stuck with me.
Jacoby, if you would like to come on here and talk and say that you want like a better teammate or something, we won't listen to you, but you're welcome to ask the question. But we're gonna start just very smoothly here because there's someone who, of course, would have liked to get on, and I figured why rather than wait for the live chat to speed up and then send him the thing, just say fuck it. We know he wants on. We know we want to talk to him, so let's just bring him on. We got Nico.
Yay! Yeah, made it on. I've been waiting since like episode 1 to finally get on this thing. But then again, you kind of have to be making head waves to get on these types of shows.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've been kind of hot and cold. I won't deny that.
16 episodes in, you got there. And I will say, just for anyone in live chat, if you want to get on, please shoot me a DM, and I will drop you the link, and then you are welcome to come on whenever you would like. But, Nico, hot streak. You had one. And you didn't, but like I feel like you rag on yourself a lot for that, and you don't really need to.
Well, here's the thing, and so I've had a very unique journey in the 3 years I've been a part of this community. I'm one of those guys who was part of the Fan Reaction League with guys like RJ, Sandy Robinson, Jeremy Adams, Jen Kemp was a part of that. Some people who I was on with a podcast for the longest time that we no longer talk about for reasons. I'm part of a very old guard of the trivia leagues, but I was known mostly more for my wrestling knowledge than I was for my movie knowledge. I was that guy who could get by in the Fan Reaction League because in order to pass a trial by fire, you just had to get like 6 points. You didn't have to actually win. So like you got a participation trophy if you got a certain score. And but my real passion was wrestling. And thankfully, before it was known as the corrupt cesspool we know it as today, Jack of All Trivia did have a wrestling promotion. It had a wrestling division, and I was its 4th champion. Yeah, that's another thing people don't really realize is that I was a champion at one point in this community. It's just it kind of gets shot down because of the medium in which it happened and because of the league it happened in, because we now know that things weren't up to par with the way things were being run there.
You would get a lot of help.
But like yeah.
They were feeding you the answers. They literally just had whiteboards, just written out, and just Nico was the only one seeing them. Just like the opponents had no chance.
Anyway, so I for the longest time I coasted on that lone accomplishment, and then Multiplex came along, and I was kind of part of. I was one of the guys who Tim Smith brought in to help sort of found it. He had me and Harley Borick running Sports Battlefield, which to this day I still wonder why, because I only really knew one sport, and that was MMA. I didn't know football. I didn't know baseball. I didn't know any of the other sports. So why he put me and Harley in charge of that particular division still baffles me. But I think he just saw that I was willing to help out however I could. And so he gave me a shot. Didn't work out. He and Kane McMillan, who was running the non-trivia content at the time, they let me do some interview shows around the league. Was a show where I just took random players of Multiplex, interviewed them, asked them about their ongoings, much like this show we have.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh shit, I'm not original.
That was the predecessor of this show, really. Just
yeah. That wasn't also out of that Out of that, there's also Recent Multiplex, which came out semi-recently as well.
Yeah, and when that didn't work out because viewership, there was always just something lacking in that show that we could never figure out that would get the ratings we wanted it to. So we instead we switched over to Crisis on Earthplex, which was my and Zadius Smith's show where we would discuss things happening on the CWDC shows, and then it sort of morphed into like its own comic book news show. We got up to I think like 50 episodes, and we had a good run. But again, viewership was an issue, so at that point, I just kind of decided to focus on being a player and a manager. And I tried. I think I was the first person to try management in the fan leagues. I can't say I was actually good at it. Like I was good at recruiting people, maybe not so much managing them. Like I was like, oh, Janine might be in a fan league match at some point. I better pick her up. Jen Kemp is doing well. Let me pick her up. Zadius is doing well. Matt's doing well. Jeremy and Sandy are doing well. Let me pick them up. But
you're a good talent scout.
Yeah,
Yes,
I love how
good
I was
talent scout.
just like casually like, oh yeah, Jeremy's all right. Let's just go with him. Why not?
Yeah, that's the biggest flaw in my thing was I knew talent when I saw it, just didn't know how to harness it properly because again, I was lacking in certain knowledge of movies to help better them in competition. That, or in the case of Zadius, my Wi-Fi connection was never good enough to actually be there for a championship match that he was a part of. Like my power went out the night that he was taping his title match where he beat Jim Green for TV Throwdown, and I was just so pissed because I was like, really, this one time where I can be there for one of my guys in their biggest moment, and my power is not working. I can't get on the call. It was frustrating. But it showed, I think, in Game of Factions that I wasn't a good manager. And that's why I ended up losing, having to play you in that manager bowl. And we kept it close. But Thomas just kind of steamrolled the both of us.
Yeah, it's unfortunate how you have like, I mean, legitimately, you and Jay have played for titles. That was my first match, pretty much ever multiplex, not including Google. And then, oh yeah, I get fucked by Thomas Deans, the next team champion.
It was an interesting situation that they had for that, and just like that whole Game of Faction thing. So, like looking back at it, just kind of go like, okay, but you live and learn.
Yeah, it sort of sucks, but hey, I mean, like. Something's happened. Like I know both of you are in like connection to this to an extent. Is like just NBE fell through in the middle of multiplex this season.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah, and then through that,
a lot of chaos.
Yeah, like I can say personally, like since I was second in the manager bowl, I had the option to make a faction, and I didn't because I wanted to focus more on being a better individual player. And I spoke to Koa about this semi recently, where it was I don't want to become a manager without being a better player myself. Because while I think that managers don't have to be the best ever, I can't function on my own currently. Like we've seen in the matches I've played, I can fumble the ball really easily, and I don't trust myself to work with other players if I can keep fucking up like that. So like
you did the opposite of what I did, which was you didn't want to fuck up, so you took the right steps. I did everything backwards. I fucked up enough times that I realized maybe I should let this go for a bit and focus on me for right now.
Again, if you watch my matches, you can see how much I fucked up. Like, I fuck up a lot.
You do, but that's what I like you. Well, it's interesting with the whole idea of management because it's something that I accidentally dabbled in with the MBE because, like, look, God love him, Brooklyn, fantastic guy. He just wasn't there for a lot of the time just because he has a full-time job, he has a wife, he has all this stuff. So I had to, like, me and Jacoby kind of filled in at some points. It's just like, it's very much a whole different ball game you have to play. So you don't have to be a good player yourself in order to do it well. You have to kind of learn the game more so than the actual trivia. Like if you're able to jump in for challenges, that's fantastic. But it's more about getting that gamemanship mentality up there.
Yeah.
I feel like the best experience I had as a manager was when Eli McCaig took on Jim Green in the now defunct Phantom TV Throwdown division. Eli had a rough round 2. He was noticeably doubting himself. And, Just Breathe has sort of become a meme, but saying it helps because competitors do forget in that moment that there is a benefit to just staying calm. It helps to tell yourself everything's going to be okay. And I was there to tell Eli, hey, listen, you stumbled. Everything's going to be okay, though. You can still make this up in this final round. And he did. He won. He won that match, and then he went on to the finals, and he won the Fandom TV title. So, there is a benefit to positive reinforcement. It's just you also have to back it up with actual knowledge of the content that you're managing your players for.
Well,
And in terms of movies, I didn't have that as much as other people did.
As I said, you don't really need that knowledge too much. If you're able to get if you're able to do it for a challenge, that's fantastic. But that's not your job. Your job is to make sure that it's on the level like question wise. If there's a dodgy question, like the wording of it, that's when you jump in and challenge it, or stuff like that. Or if there's an issue with the call between the two hosts, that's when you jump in. You feel like, whereas you're not meant. The manager is not meant to be the smartest person at the desk. It's meant to be the player. So if you're looking at trying to become the smartest person, then don't be a manager. Just focus on playing.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it just comes to is you really want to make sure your player is game ready. And Tony can speak as in the legendary fucking Beller versus Jacoby. Me and Tony were quizzing the fuck out of Jacoby before that match, and we helped him win. Or if you see recently in a lot of matches, a lot of people in the Kingsman, I'm not involved with him, but I help him study a lot. And often I'll just be like, thanks, Adelaide, and they give an answer. Where it's you need to be there for your players. I don't manage people at all right now, but you still need to know, you need to be there prepping for the game, know exactly what's going to come up, know how the writers prep, know what could come up in terms of context versus casting or crew. If you aren't helping they're getting your player ready before the match, you're not a manager. You're a glorified mouthpiece, and that's all that it is.
And I think that's where I went wrong was because, again, maybe Tony's got a point of it's not about how much you know, but knowing stuff allows you to help study with your players. And I always felt like I couldn't do that with mine because of the knowledge that I lacked. I was strictly I knew fandom, I knew TV. I could not help my Warzone guys, and granted they were good enough on their own that they didn't necessarily need my help. But I sounded like an idiot every time we got to round 2, and I'm like, go with your gut. Go take that wheel slice if you feel comfortable with it. That's really doing the bare minimum of giving your players advice on what to do and where to go. And that's why I kind of look back on my managerial career of there are a lot of things I could have done differently, and maybe I'm not suited for that. And that's kind of why I've been focusing a lot more on playing since House Night Fury ended, because I feel maybe I was one of those guys who could have benefited from a manager, and I tried to jump too many carts before the horse, and now I'm kind of finding my groove. I got a team's title shot last year. We worked our ass off for that tournament, and then college kind of threw off the momentum a little bit after Mayhem at the Multiplex 2. Tried something with a rock to see if I could do some character work. It ended up not going anywhere.
No.
The last time someone said they tried something with a rock, things got a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse, Nico.
I tried something with the rock.
Sure.
That involved me. I'm not allowed 500 foot near him anymore.
I will say just before,
but yeah, Oh, go ahead.
I will say just because we're sort of getting to that point. Do you have any questions, per se, or anything specific you wanted to ask us?
Why would you ask it
that? First off, am I on a lag now?
No, you're good.
Okay, because I think we might be on a 5-second lag, but I'll just work with
One
it.
or two.
I guess my question to you guys would be, you've seen me at my highest and you've seen me at my lowest. I was doing pretty well this year, and then I pretty much gave away a victory to Tyler Butler, and now I'm kind of I'm waiting in the wings for me and RJ to make our fandom team's debut, and I'm trying to figure out what to do in the meantime. Where do you see me right now in terms of the overall picture of these leagues. Where do you think I can get to?
Well, unfortunately, I don't know if you're ever going to win a singles title because you do have the 1-2 punch of Thomas Scully and Nick Tuig, who are nigh unbeatable. Even and again, I've sat down and talked through these tournaments a lot. There is never a time where we doubt that Nick Tuig or Thomas Scully are going to be in the final match of that. It's sort of like a what's the word? It's like a given. But you can't aim for a team's title. That's still possible. It's tough. It's extremely tough. But I think the 2 is easier to beat than the 1. As an individual player, you just need to make sure you have no weaknesses. And that sounds really shitty, but that's the most you can prep for. Even myself, I'm prepping for fandom pretty soon. I have bombs. I have serious bombs. And because the field of play is so vast, you don't know what's going to come next, or if you can even put your studying for one category that you need to put into 20. You just need to find what you're weakest at, put 1,000% of effort into it, make a list of notes so dense that you never need to watch this movie again, and then keep rewatching the movies until you can nail it down pat and get everything you need to from it.
Well, I've told you privately what I think, in regards to this. I think you take it way too seriously. We had conversations where you put so much pressure on yourself to play this stuff, and just I'm not going to play for another year in this particular place if I don't win this one match, and just you get the pressure on yourself, right? And that's where your big flaw is, because you end up putting so much weight on the world on your shoulders. You need to just take it where it's just one game at a time, have fun with it, rather than just be this whole I need to win, I need to move on, I need to get a title, I need to do X, Y, Z, I need to end up here. It's
you see the difference in how we process the game. But honestly, I think the best way to look at it is just break it down by league. In multiplex, let's say you lose 3 matches in a row. You're not going to lose to anyone in a retirement match. You're better than most people there. Comes to Full Metal, you haven't played there yet, so you don't know how you'd fare. And it comes to FPTL, there's no geek-centric league, so you just go there. And to me, that's what it is. And I've told Tony this a lot, is I'm so happy for FPTL to exist because it takes the stress out of me playing the game, because I put a lot of effort into it. Especially getting into Full Metal, those deep cuts are coming, and that's going to destroy me. But it's nice to have somewhere to unwind, and sometimes a player needs that.
So going off of what the both of you just said here, I did try that note-taking process of just pause it every single second and write down every little thing. Here's the thing about that, though. For those who don't know, I'm autistic. So certain things take me a little bit longer to do than it would for someone else. I was just talking to another player about note-taking, and that particular player is able to do the note-taking of Iron Man, which is a 2-hour movie. He's able to get that done in about 3.5 hours. For me, it would take me 5.5 because I'm just so thorough, and I'm trying to get the wording right. So that's time that I could have spent watching another movie or 2 other movies. And it's I'm trying to find that balance of how much is too much. I spoke to Robert Parker after he got picked up, and he told me, sometimes you just got to watch a movie for fun, not worry about taking notes. And he's got a point to that too. Getting to what Tony said about taking things too seriously, Nazario Montenegro said the same thing to me. I showed him a video of a promo I cut, and he was like, "You're trying to do way too much here. It's too long. You're taking things way too seriously. Why are you bringing up something that happened in Full Metal Random to send fear into the hearts of your fandom opponents? That doesn't really make much sense. Who's going to care if you beat Manning Franks in How to Train Your Dragon television trivia?" And he had a point there. He had a point there. I think
that's with promos in general. That's a very dangerous argument for me and Spencer to have, because we have 2 very different sides of the coin. Because I fucking hate the idea of promos and characters and this whole shit. And Spence
characters.
And Spence literally has a fucking crown.
Yeah. Hey, that's a great crown.
I didn't insult the quality of the crown. I just said you have a fucking crown.
Oh yeah.
I come from a lot of people who get into this, what we do, they're movie fans.
Mhm.
Me, I come from a sports entertainment background. I have competed in jiu-jitsu competitions. I have a black belt. I have been watching wrestling and mixed martial arts since I was a young child. So like that's what my drive was to get into this, because I saw a competition that had similar rules to the sports I already follow, and I wanted to get involved in it. I hadn't. My goal was to be a professional fighter for a good portion of my young life, and then college kind of interfered with that, and now COVID is kind of limiting my ability to get into a gym. So it like this is kind of like my second chance to be a sports entertainer, and the
Well-
Schmodown was the big goal. Although now the way things are going, if someone were to give me an offer, there's a possibility I might decline it in the chances of becoming a champion at multiplex and trying to help bring multiplex to higher levels, like equal to the Schmodown, if not above, because it's sort of a pride thing of like multiplex has given me a lot more freedom to try more things. I don't know if going to the Schmodown would allow me the freedom I would seek. Although they do have a Star Wars division, and that, say what you will about the MTFO, but I was very happy that someone finally did their own Star Wars division. And you didn't see the match because it never aired, but like me and Adam Collins were in a 4-way against each other, and we were going back and forth. The final score was 26-24, 9-6. I was the second place finisher in that. So like I went toe to toe with a Schmodown competitor and held my own. And I'm sad. I'm still sad that no one got to see it. And I'm sad that division no longer exists, because you say I probably wouldn't win a singles title. That was the one division I had a chance to do it in.
Yeah. Well, I think I like not to be that guy, because again, or that person, because I am. I'll get into it later. You could always just make your own league, and it sounds really stupid and shitty. That's like, again, that's not something I'm pitching, but to me, it's like a lot of the.
I tried
Fair.
that actually.
Yeah.
Like, and it was it. Now the problem with this one was, I think it was maybe the medium. I tried to make my own MMA trivia league. We got through 6 matches, and then it just died. It lasted shorter than Jukebox Trivia did, and that's mostly because the lack of interest by people. I didn't know how to be a question writer. Everything I was writing was deep cut, and I thought it was easy because it's like, oh, MMA fans will know this. Not realizing that not everyone who would want to play is a diehard MMA fan.
Yeah.
So it's like they have no idea who's in Bellator, let alone who's the champion of a certain division in Bellator. So
I say this only as in like the reason Star Wars exists in the Schmodown is because Christian and Mark love it. They're like, fuck it, let's put something towards our passion, and now it's grown. Same thing with MTFO. David and the other former commissioner both love Star Wars. Fuck it, let's make a division out of it. And it's like none of the other leagues are going to do that, and that's not like a slag or anything. It's just not of their interest. I think that's an opportunity for people. It's like you can always make exhibition matches one-off like Malcolm does, and he's in the chat, so he knows what I'm talking about. But to make a division around it is different, because the competitiveness of rankings and titles and strengths and weaknesses it could get really in-depth. And I think that's an opportunity people could take. Something some of us just aren't interested in. I would have never played in Star Wars, but it's nice to have it there for the people who want it.
Like, it's also, but when it comes to doing your own league, you do have to walk that fine balance of making sure that you're not doing it just to get your own dick sucked.
Yeah,
I've seen leagues in the past and in the present where you see the main showrunner just like, oh, this is all about me, this is all about me, this is all about me. Like, I'm going to win the title here, and blah 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 blah. And it's just like, at the end, it's not fun. Like, you have to find that balance between being able to run it and have it, and then find your own enjoyment in it, because like otherwise it just ends up being a one dog and pony show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll say, do you have any more questions? We have one more guest in the wing. You're welcome to come back on later, but I don't want to get to everyone. Do you have like a final question for us to address or anything?
No. That's all I can think of at the moment.
Okay. I will throw you backstage. You can always come back later, but I do want to get to our next guest, because she is somebody who we don't see much, but I know Tony's very familiar with, good friend of both of ours, and she does have something coming up soon. So welcome, Christina.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I hope everyone had a wonderful day.
I got my California shit who everyone hates, so I'm feeling good.
Nice. Tony, are you still melting?
I'm melting. I'm just a puddle. It's bad.
Ugh.
It's meant to rain this weekend, so I'm just gonna go sit out in the rain and just like, yes.
Oh my gosh. It was very nice and sunny today, so I spent the day outside. Beautiful day.
All right, so
I
Christina.
actually just came in to watch this, so.
Oh.
And Christina, so how do you feel as a fan leaguer? How are you? How you doing?
So like I'm obviously like super new to this. I would say 3-4 months in. My first match was definitely before quarantine. So maybe February. So what month is it now? June? Okay, so I haven't really been around that long. I do enjoy movies. I like them a lot. I'm not super competitive or super serious about any of this stuff. So I was just looking to just come in, have a good time, see what I know. I'm not really super interested in studying too hard. In real life, I'm actually pretty busy. So this has been like a nice pause to like actually get involved and do things and have free time to watch a lot more movies and to like meet a bunch of new people. But really like my hesitation of joining was just, I didn't know how serious everybody took it. And I just didn't want to be this person that came in and like just knew nothing and just like looked like an idiot compared to everybody else. And now I kind of just feel like I'm okay if I look like an idiot compared to everybody else.
Yeah, that's what I've done every time. It works fine. Make 1 or 2 jokes. People think that you're a comedian, you're grand.
Yeah. I'm just here to entertain. I know I'm like one of the few girls. I know Peggy was holding it down for quite some time, but Peggy's actually good. So, you know. So I'm just like here to be like, hey guys, I'm friends with Peggy. So
You shouldn't undersell yourself. You were great in the category of movies where Chris Evans appears shirtless.
well, I wrote it, so obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say this: I know what I know. Like, if it's something in my wheelhouse, I absolutely know it. Like, and I probably know weird stuff that other people don't know. Like, my husband Anthony is pretty good at this. Like when we would watch the Schmoedown matches, and like every now and then, like I would pull out an answer. He's like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like I used to watch this movie all the time when I was 10, and it just stuck with me. I have no idea." So.
Yeah, it does remind me of I was hosting a match in MTFO and I wrote it. And my 5-pointer was who plays Tybalt in Baz Luhrmann's Romeo plus Juliet, and it's like that's definitely a 5 because no one gives a fuck about that movie. No. So it was the question went to Brandon Dunlap, and I asked him, it's like, okay, he's got 2 repeats, it could take him a while. He's like, that's my man John Leguizamo. I'm like, what the fuck? How do you know that? That's correct. They got 5 points and then shot to the final, and it's like some people have that, and it's crazy.
Right. Like there's just random things that I know, and then there's like probably super obvious things. I'm like, well, I've never seen that movie. So like a lot of popular movies I just don't want to watch.
That's why I feel missing a Shawshank question.
That's also a thing about the leagues where you do come in as a deficit as well because all the question writers are male. Like there's very few that would be able to actually go into like rom-coms any more deeply than just like, oh, when in Harry Met Sally, who plays Harry?
Right.
So it's like stuff like that. So I'm speaking with Peggy a lot because somehow she ended up in the show. I've noticed that a lot of the movies that she will mention, oh, I'm really passionate about these, never get mentioned because it's just like, oh, they're for a different genre than what I would have seen or what anyone else would have seen. So it's really
right. That's the other thing. Like my taste is the typical girly movies, so that's not like super represented all the time. Even in the Schmoedown, it's not super represented all the time.
Yeah, I mean, shit. They asked like I think they've only had the musicals category landed on like twice, maybe 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Like it skews very towards a very particular audience, which is straight white males who grew up in the 90s.
Right. And it's like, or how many times does this dance movie slice get picked? Like, but I watch dance movies because I grew up dancing. So it's like, I would kill that slice because I watched, and because they're terrible movies, but I watched all of them because they all came out when I was like 14, 15, and 16, and dance was my whole life. So I watched all these movies. So it's like, I know all of that stuff, but like most people don't.
The separate franchise, however, is absolute baller. Not a bad movie in a lot.
Featuring one Mike Chang / Harry Shum Jr., which is a absolute great pick for making a boy band because you need your dancer.
Yeah, but if only your boy band was as good as mine.
Do you have Connor for real?
I wanted to, but someone
You didn't, so fuck you.
Someone took it. Afterwards, Anthony's like, "You guys should have donkey roll challenged each other."
I don't know how to donkey roll because I don't study dances in movies.
Oh my god, I would perform it right now, but like that's weird.
Please,
but I do know it. Anthony and I have been practicing.
I will say, Christina.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to please welcome news category next week in FPTL on the wheel. Do you have a dance move?
That would be great. I would crush it.
I mean, hey, apparently I'm an asshole when I'm writing Full Metal Classic, so I'll just throw that in there. Just like, hey, here's a category. Dance moves in movies.
Exactly.
And I get yelled at by Bill for a third time.
I think Bill just yells all the time, so it's
Bill.
It doesn't matter.
If I send him to emergency therapy, I think it's a different kind of yelling.
No, that's Bill for you. He has no off switch. He's just loud.
All
right.
I will say, though, Christina, you do have a match coming up.
I do have a match. It was supposed to be tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But then schedules had to get changed. So I'm excited. I've been doing a little bit of prep for it. And then Anthony and I we went to some game store yesterday that was in like our outlet mall, and it was like a movie trivia game. So he was quizzing me a little last night on just general trivia. So I am studying a little bit, just not a lot.
So I'll clip this out and put it on Twitter later. Formally announcing you are playing in the first match of my new division hosted on this very channel.
I am, guys. And we will see what happens because I am much older than everyone else I am playing significantly. At least 10 years. So
that could be an advantage. I do want to say, so your first match, you are against Haley Elizabeth, who we saw in one of the multiplex Warzone play-ins, Evan DeGraff, who many of you know from the PJ Campbell Network, and my friend who's never played in any movie trivia whatsoever, Aaron Clausen, because he's someone who I'm trying to train to play everywhere. It's like, hey, here's a good first match.
Easy first step.
Yeah, your first step. Fight against Christina and then yell about dance movies or something.
As long as everybody knows their dance moves, then we're good.
Exactly. Yeah, so it will be dropping officially on Tuesday. I don't have a time yet, but it will be dropping on this channel, edited on Tuesday. And I can say this, Peggy, you weren't invited because I wanted people who had never won a match before. And I talked to Tony about it because I loved his rookie round robin idea, and I wanted to give the space to people who either don't play a lot or who haven't played or just who haven't won, and give them the space to be like, fuck yeah, here's like even playing field.
I mean, I did win once, but it was because Peggy was my teammate.
Right. Yeah. So Christina, you're out.
I have never won a singles, nor will I. I've never actually played a singles because I'm terrified. So that's also why you will probably never see me in Full Metal, because I would never. I think the most I've ever gotten right is 3, and then that's the whole game, which means I wouldn't have made it to the other rounds.
Just be like, you should be sitting there answering. It's like, babe, who directed Chicago? Fuck you, I don't need you.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think I would make a much better manager. Well, one, I just like to talk a lot of shit. So like it's one of my favorite things to do. So I think I would be good at that. And I just think from like the teacher point of view, like I'm very good at just like mentoring people and keeping people calm, keeping them in the game. I'd be good at learning the game and just kind of strategizing. I feel like I'm better at that stuff than just remembering trivia. So maybe if my time in the families expands and grows, maybe somebody will pick me up and I can help them out, manage them, and yell at other people on their behalf, because I feel like I'm pretty talented at that.
Just random abuse, why not?
Yeah, why not?
You're from New Jersey, it makes sense.
Exactly.
Peggy searching in the can.
Got you.
I will say, Tony, do you have any questions for Christina about her first ever singles match?
Oh, look at all the love here from people that have never met me at all and have no actual emotional connections to me.
I know.
Anthony hasn't met you?
Nah, he's never met me. We don't live together or anything.
I was about to say, she lives with Aaron J, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm too busy with my boo Aaron. So.
That's much I would love to see. Just Aaron versus Anthony, and just see the kind of promos they would cut against each other.
Yeah, Malcolm, you need a Full Metal random of those two fighting for my honor.
Or just do a rom-com match.
Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm too afraid Peggy would annihilate me.
Here we are.
Obviously, I would do it because I love Peggy.
Full Metal random match on movies Christina likes. Aaron versus Anthony.
Yes.
Ooh, that would be good.
I think Anthony would win that, but Aaron would win in spirit just by yelling. It's like, I would know more. She paid attention to me.
I will say though, when we did when we did the favorite movies, Aaron and I had a lot of the same from our childhood though.
Ooh.
So you never know.
See, I've always wanted to write that because, like, I know back when MTFO was a thing, they had their frenzy, and I wrote one. It's just like, hey, here's my favorite movies, because why not? And I made everyone fucking mad about it. I would love to just see exhibition matches like, who knows my taste the best? Here you go. And I know Malcolm did one for him, so it'd be cool to have like that variety of everyone. I will say, as everyone is joining in the chat now, I do want to remind you, if you would like to come on, have any questions about yourself or other family people or anything, DM me and I can send you the link. So Anthony, Peggy, I believe Kirk, your role in movie reviews and everything. If you want to be on, let me know and I can drop you the link.
I also just want to say two things. That Adam Collins is one of the reasons I learned about Tony's League, because I actually have only met other people from the Schmoedown previously by going to live events. So Adam was one of the people that told me to join this one. And then Nico, don't stress yourself out. You're one of the nicest people I've ever met. I also met Nico prior to all of this stuff at a live event. So don't take everything too seriously, but don't be like me who takes nothing seriously. But you are great, and just trust yourself a little bit more.
And Nico, keep your pants on in front of strangers.
Hey,
that
hotel room is different, Tony.
Not after half an hour.
I've only seen Nico fully clothed, so I can't comment on this.
Spencer and I have different stories.
Yeah, you stayed in the room and I stayed in a different one.
But so the way I go into Spencer's thing a little bit.
Just to reference what he's talking about. So Ryan Payne, Chris Doman, myself, and Tony for the Los Angeles Spectacular event, we all got an Airbnb together.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I did when we got into that Airbnb was take my pants off, because I had been because the day before was my senior picture. I was still wearing the dress clothes from my senior picture when I had gotten to the Pittsburgh Airport Hotel. When I had gotten on the plane, I was just like so ready to take off these clothes that I had been wearing for the past 24 plus hours. And I did exactly that. Just dropped my drawers right in front of everyone else in the room, Tony included.
Here's the thing. If you went to the bathroom and did that, perfectly fine. No one would notice. Literally, I looked out the window, turned back around, and it's just like, oh, there you tight your whities.
So basically what I'm hearing is, if a spectacular can happen during COVID, Anthony and I need to fly out and we will be a part of this Airbnb. No pants off.
I did pitch Tony for a hot second, just having like a full like family group house of like 16 people and just watch shit burn down.
I told you we're gonna do it. We're gonna get a shore house, and then we'll be our own version of Jersey Shore, and it'll be amazing.
I will say, just in Nico's defense, when I was supposed to go to Canada over the summer, I was gonna go with my friend, and she was gonna be graduating the day we left. So it literally would have been, she goes there in her graduation robes, hops on the first plane to fucking Spain in them, rips them off on the train from Spain to France. Like, sometimes you're just in a fucking rush and you can't wait.
Like,
that's what it is.
Damn.
Do I even just buy clothes at the airport? They have shops.
Have you bought shit at an airport? It's so frustrating because they're like, oh, did you buy it before you checked your bags or after you checked your bags?
It's like Disneyland. They know you can't do better. They're going to overcharge you for fucking everything.
It's duty free. It's cheaper.
Only if you fly internationally, not if you fly domestically.
All right, I get.
That's fine.
As someone who's never flown over an ocean besides for Hawaii, so I've never left the U.S. I don't know what's it called? International flights look like. But any airport whatsoever, everyone I go to is like, hey, here's a water bottle for $8. It's Fuck that.
Super expensive, man.
So the family.
Super expensive.
Yeah,
Family.
back to the families.
Family.
Yeah.
I
If you
just
had to-
say I'm the next upcoming star or the next upcoming manager. So in everyone's face. Yeah.
Just like Eric Zipper and Stacey Howard, you are the next Jan Merle.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Yeah,
course.
exactly.
Oh, great. And then Malcolm, we're gonna make this rom-com thing happen. Peggy and I will be in touch.
But, that has happened now. I
You want- I can grab Anthony if you would like another guest, unless you want to bring him in separately.
No, come on, yell at Anthony, tell him to come in here.
He'll probably hear this. He's watching.
Yeah,
Anthony.
in chat. It'll all
So
just walk in.
Anthony, you're something.
Let's go, Anthony. Oh yeah,
They're
Tony,
just-
I like this. You can buy all the booze duty free when you fly over for our house we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Smart. Yeah, that'll be an idea.
Why not make it weird?
All right, it's your turn.
Why not? I just walk in around in like 20 bottles of vodka, just like, hi.
Oh
Yeah.
no, it's
Whoa.
your interview process, so I'm gonna go to the other room. Thank you for
Alright.
having me on. I'll be
All
watching.
right,
You're the
bye,
man.
Christina. And now it is still technically Christina because of the stuff.
I just have her background now.
If you
I
want me
don't
to
have
hop off,
her-
so you can. If you want me to hop off, so you can talk to Anthony, I'll just
Hey,
go
sure.
backstage.
Hey, yeah, you can still vibe in the background, Nico. You're good.
Yeah.
Because actually, so after I'm gonna keep calling you Christina because your name says at the bottom here.
Oh,
And we do have another guest lined up, thankfully. But so Anthony, fan leagues. Hi.
yeah, I was a part of this a little bit before. We just watched this trying on together. I kind of introduced her to it, and then all this popped up, and I was like, oh, that seems fun. Maybe I know stuff. I watch a lot of movies, then realize people actually like study and try a lot harder than I do. I just see a lot of stuff. So that kind of is how I started getting into this, but I
There's
was
always
outside
that.
with her all day. I haven't done anything since.
There's always that first interaction whenever someone joins and it's in the first classics match, and you see them go bright-eyed and just like, holy shit!
Oh yeah,
These people know like movies from the 50s.
Oh no! Like I'll always remember my first ever classic match. I was against Sandy Robinson, Caleb Boatman, and Google, and Boatman almost beat Google. Like
wow.
I was going in the deep end.
Yeah, some of them, people like movie release dates, like Tony's thing where he had people do movie release dates for 4 straight hours. I don't know movie release dates. I don't study that. I own an absurd amount of movies and I've watched a lot. That's my knowledge is just from what I've seen.
Yeah, but I mean, I will say, like, I think, like, you are technically a rookie, but I think you're making the rounds pretty well. And I know you're playing a lot in FPTL, and I know you've played in Full Metal Classic, and you're also in the Full Metal Teams tournament.
Yeah, that's still in there.
Yeah.
When some point near future.
Well, like you are becoming one of those players who makes the rounds now, and I'm sure any day now you're going to start playing in the other leagues as well. Granted, there's only one, but you're also slated to play in MTFO when that existed.
Yeah.
So, like, how do you feel now that you're officially a player of the fan leagues, like multiple?
Yeah. I make my rounds. I wander around. I'm, a little bit of a hoe of a family. I'll just go wander around to wherever I can find a spot.
So how does it feel now that you're like with the crazy people?
I mean, I live in Jersey and I'm married to her, so I'm pretty used to the crazy people. So this is all. I forgot she's watching this. She's gonna call me in about 5 seconds, which is this delay. But no, I'm pretty used to the crazy people. This is fun. It's like it's good to talk to people about movies and stuff like that. Like I force her to watch some stuff, and we watch stuff together. But most of my friends don't. Not obsessed, and you that are, don't really talk about it.
I mean, how do you feel about it? Because again, as you spur off into different leagues, where you're going to have to start managing different formats and stuff. Like, do you feel prepared? Do you feel like your time in FPTL and Full Metal Classic has prepared you for like ranked play?
Oh, I mean, like more or less. I mean, especially like these leagues always fun. Like and I don't care. This is fine. We spent way too much time together throughout this quarantine. No, going through all the leagues is great because every league has some different twist to it, which is kind of fun. And, it's nice to have be able to use your strengths and see what kind of random questions people will come up with that in some of the leagues and all that. But, doing the classics is fine. It's kind of see exactly where all my weaknesses are. At least I've made out of the first round the past few times, so that always makes me happy to get out of that. That always is upsetting when you lose quickly.
And, of course, Jake Meltzer just existing.
Christina made a good point. I can't really call my nemesis when I am just so much worse than he is. Like, he will always beat me in everything that we do, except for the donkey roll. I will be able to donkey roll better than him. If that becomes a category, I'm good there. She'll teach me all the moves. That one I got down. I'll learn more.
Okay, so we'll do the dance battle in a couple of weeks.
I'm 100% down for that. I will be a little buzzed for that one. But I will be ready for it.
As a budding player, is there anything that you feel like you're the best at? Like you don't have to. I feel like a lot of the players coming in, it's like, I am this. Like, this is my defining characteristic.
I don't have a defining characteristic. I just show up. I enjoy it. I have fun. I don't really think I try to take it too seriously. Like, I just enjoy doing all this. I will study. I will try to make sure I know, like, whatever my strength I decide is or something like that. I'll make sure I'm good at that. And so I don't completely jack that up. But, during the team tournament, me and Peggy talk about everything. We kind of get our stuff figured out. I'll study all those and try to be good. But really, I just want to come in. I want to have fun, not take it too seriously. But, if people are watching, I want to make sure people are entertained. I want to, try to crack some jokes and try to be entertaining and, have fun with it all.
I'll say, you can be known for having, like, the third or fourth best hair in the fan leagues. But also, speaking of studying, like, how do you feel with the Full Metal format now that you've, like, officially played a match in it? Like, again, not results, but, like, how do you feel about it?
I actually don't. I like it. It's kind of nice. You kind of, the wheel round is what it is. You pick something you might be good at, and then I like kind of knowing what the third round is. You can study a little bit more, but sometimes it's just some of these movies. I'm like, I'm not watching a 3-hour-long movie. I'll just kind of read up on it and make sure I got the cast down a little bit.
Yeah, like, who's gonna watch The Egg and I or fucking the Rugrats movie?
I mean, I will watch that.
Rugrats movie. Tommy.
100%. I'll watch Rugrats movie every day. That's not a problem.
I've heard Mark Meyer bitch about that movie too much. It's just ingrained in my head, like, oh, it must be garbage now.
It's like, so many movies garbage. The amount of heat Powerline and the Goofy movie got on your thing on Wednesday, that was absurd. How do you hate the Goofy movie? It's brilliant.
People are insane.
There's no other way to describe it.
Like, it's just sad some people just aren't able to enjoy true love in their hearts of the Goofy movie.
It provides me so much entertainment.
I did rewatch it this week because of it got picked, and I'm still angry. I'm still so angry.
I definitely made sure. I was like, Tony is going to probably pick Powerline. You're going to need to get this one figured out.
If I didn't have my...
Who did you pick in the first round?
Link Larkin from Hairspray.
Right, because you stole my other pick as well.
Because my plan was I was going to do all Zac Efron's.
That's a good point.
Not bad.
Spent you kind of for real really caught me off guard. I was like, oh, you're fine. You kind of for real around. No one's going to know that.
But then I got second place in the poll behind Christina. No, third place behind Nico.
That one I don't get. I know Nico's in the background, and dude, I don't know how you came in second at all. You were batshit.
Yeah. Nico, I think, took some drugs before going on. Just like,
imagine.
He spoke to Aaron J prior to coming on, just had a few things out over state lines.
He's got a few.
He knows a few people. I say this with probably with the fact that both Aaron and Nico could kick my ass.
Okay.
We've summoned someone else.
Someone else is involved.
Hi, Brooklyn.
Yeah. All right. So, Anthony, do you have like a dream matchup in the fan leagues? Like let's say you keep winning, or maybe you lose, and you can still find yourself against this person. Like, who would you like to line yourself up against?
I mean, I don't really know like the high rollers in these leagues. I mean, I would always just enjoy playing someone I think would be a fun match. I would always love. I mean, obviously all the stuff with Aaron and Christina. I would love to play Aaron in a match in some way, shape, or form. I think that would be fun. I think it would be a good match. Stuff like that. I just want to play people that are both we're gonna have a good time. I know I'm not gonna beat the top tier in the leagues, so I'm okay with like I don't know if I'm really going for like win-wins, but I want to play somebody that's going to be entertaining. We're going to put on a good show at least for everyone watching. I think me and Aaron will put on a really good show against each other. Also, obviously to fight for my wife. So we have to
no.
I mean, that storyline can work. I mean, you got Zach Ford and Lucas fighting for the rights to parent Zach's child, which is happening somehow.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I do. This is fun, and I would always obviously Tina starts managing. I'm gonna laugh because I know she'll be fun. She might not know all the rules, and she might not know the movies as well as some people, but she will manage the crap out of someone because she will be going nuts for the promos.
First match she manages, first question she challenges because the opponent's a bitch.
Oh yeah,
That's a big dick move. Like imagine just coming in. It's like you don't need to fucking challenge. Fuck this person. Challenge that they're even here. Challenge has been thrown.
I feel like I know her first match that she's going to manage. So
Oh,
I wonder who that could be.
I don't know.
Oh, her and Jay going back and forth is going to be fun to watch.
That would be interesting, but I can't say anything because spoilers.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that, man.
Behind and all this stuff.
It's getting shit for the days.
Brooklyn was a good manager. This is just a case, sadly, he just wasn't able to give the time necessary for the particular league. But I would happily have him back with open arms.
Yeah. Well, also, he also writes killer Pokemon questions. Like I respect the fuck out of the man for his Pokemon knowledge.
I think anyone that can do all the Pokemon rap just gets love in my heart.
Oh, that's for the entrance music. Damn it! Like that's one thing I miss about MTFO and old school multiplex is having entrance music. I feel like that's like a really like defining thing for a character.
Yeah.
I guess like it's one of those things though with characters is so difficult to do it in a video format like this. I've always thought that if this was an audio medium, characters would be able to do a lot better. But because you can see, like, if I was to cut a promo now saying, "Oh, I'm the biggest dick, I'm the greatest, I'm the thing," you can see my bed right there. It's like you can see, like, it's not like you have that level of disconnect with just like this weird like thing of just like, oh yeah, you try a character, but you see your laundry in the back of the room, mate.
Yeah. See, I understand it, but at the same time, I think that so much of it has to be visual because you have some players, especially like me, like I have a stutter and a lisp to an extent, where me talking could just not sound great if I'm trying to play a certain promo. So like, if I don't have this, you don't know what I'm supposed to be. You don't know who I'm trying to be. Like sometimes you need the visual medium to translate, and that's why like, and you know, God love him, Koho when he was the king had the crown for a reason. Like that was emblematic of him. Like, here's the sign that I'm a bitch, and everywhere he'd go, it's like, here's what I can do to show you who I am in character versus out of character.
It's something as an object and way to show it, but it's just like for the majority of people that aren't Koho, that can't do it as well he can, you always just end up with it falling flat, and just like you have that level of disconnect, and just always breaks, and just like this like the fourth wall gets broken because you kind of just realize just like, oh, okay, this like go not a hard ass, mate.
Yeah. I will say really quickly because I see him in the chat now. Nico and Brooklyn, since you guys are brand new here, this is an open forum. So if you'd like to come on and talk about anything, really, shoot me a DM and I can drop you the link, and you can come on and ask questions about you, about us, about anything really fan league related, even if not fan league related. You ask us about like, what's your favorite food, or like whatever, and we're like, sure.
No.
Thank you, Nico, for being funny in the chat and in the back.
I definitely missed something there.
Nico tried once to have a Rock talk to him and be his manager.
Yeah, that is as I thought.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be better.
Speaking of carrying dead weight, Peggy Gubbins is your teammate.
Whoa, Tony!
Wow. No. He's been crushing it. We've done well. I enjoy having Peggy as a teammate. It's nice to have someone that you kind of, because at first I didn't know who I was really going to be with, and getting Peggy, someone I actually like have talked to before, to be a teammate was awesome.
Yeah, like you two actually got to know each other before being thrown together as a team, and just like I love how people take me seriously when I slag off Peggy. It's the best. There's one person in particular that doesn't realize that Peggy and I do a show together and fucking hates me because I have a go at her.
Oh, it was her boyfriend, Aaron J?
No, it's someone else. I'll tell you off screen. But it's just like someone had to send them a link of just like, they work together, right? It's like he isn't just being a sexist pig here. They actually are friends. Yeah.
Little column A, little column B.
Yeah. I'm just a bully. What can I say?
We'll say so. As we're waiting for more guests to file, I'm getting Nico back because he's like a nice, like casually like third co-host, sort of vibing.
Yeah. So it occurred to me that no one has really gotten the full story of what I was going for with that rock.
I think I got an idea.
No, because people think I was talking to that rock when really like. So I'm a fan.
The rock
of
was talking
sort
to
of
me.
No, I'm a fan of like the darker characters in professional wrestling. The characters that they might seem nice on the outside, but they can make sort of a transformation into something more monstrous, like what the demon personality is for Finn Balor, what the Fiend is for Bray Wyatt, those alter ego sort of things. And like The Rock was supposed to be the conduit that would allow me to transform into that alter ego. It wasn't giving me advice. It was like the evil version of the star in a Mario Kart game. It was going to give me like a power up, and that power up was going to manifest itself through like face paint and a costume.
Also, it's Ryan Payne.
I was gonna shoot my promos in front of my fireplace to look like a dragon and everything of that nature. And it's just I couldn't get the materials I needed, and Hillbilly kind of gave me some advice on where the character could go wrong, and that was what would happen if you lost. And I realized then that whole thing would basically fall apart. And I had to really sort of think like, okay, now I need something that I can do and it will work, win or lose. And so with my teaming up with RJ now, I've been trying to work on like designs for Power Rangers logos and helmet designs and T-shirts and things of that nature, because like win or lose, we can still be a cool Power Rangers based team with a name like Enter the Dragon Zord and entertain you guys the same way Blockbuster Video has done for the longest time.
I will say though, like you could pull that off. You could be like dark timeline community type stuff, where it's like here's the universe where Nico loses and you're just missing an arm. Like how the fuck does that happen?
That'll be the next multiplex multiverse episode. Is just me doing that. Like, what if I had actually captured and harnessed the powers of that rock?
But, truly the darkest timeline.
It's so hard to hear. I get it. The whole time you were talking about The Rock, all I could think of too was the Power Rangers. I was like, no, you just need one of these things, man, and then change it that way.
I am working on a Morpher now because I am with RJ, who is a Power Rangers guy. So it's like I told him I would design Morphers if he asked me to.
That would be awesome, actually.
I'm not going to blow this out. Spence, get up to Brooklyn's comment that after Malcolm was shouting at me for being mean to Peggy.
Where? What the fuck?
I think what needs to be factored in.
That one. Or is that when people came in with character can go?
It is an interesting situation because it does feel that like if you go back and watch any of the fan links from like a year or two ago, you do have those more. Hi, it's just me.
Oh.
You do have a lot more of the dynamic characters and the people going actively to do character work, and whereas now you have more of the people that are coming in to try and be funny, or people that are just like, I'm here to play, screw you guys, I'm just here to have fun, going the Brian Michaels route of seriousness. So it's kind of interesting to see, like, especially like the trends of when stuff move forward in it, fall in and out, and then people that stick around to keep some of those stuff. It's an interesting situation. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have any thoughts.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like, this is sort of a time-based thing that we're all part of, and like, I think it's just like the longer we're in this community, the more we figure out how things are meant to work. Or rather, like the people who have been around a long time and haven't figured it out end up going away because they might not I'm definitely someone who stood the test of time and found a way to adapt to every era so far and get along or just know how to interact with various people from various eras. Like the things that you had to, like the conversations with Sean Sandberg are definitely a lot different than the conversations I have with you guys. And that's just like things change. Things change, and it's a matter of how you adapt to them.
Yeah. So remember the good old days.
I don't know if I said anything in that 5 seconds I was talking.
I sort of get it, where it's like you can be like, remember the good old days of Kane McMillan in Chicago, and with us it's like, oh yeah, stuff happened. I don't know if you guys know about it, but this happened. It's like you don't like. It's a different perspective. Like you don't know what exactly you're talking. Like the same thing with the Schmodown is like a large chunk of the community is like, we don't know where I come. It's like, why do I love team action? They don't know what team action is. They just know that Ben, Dave, and Andrew Guy hate each other for some reason. Like sometimes you need context, sort of like understand where you stand in the space.
All right, I'm just gonna quickly play Jose for a second. Anthony, your food is here.
Yes, my food is apparently here. I'm gonna go have dinner because I'm starving. It's been good. I look forward to obviously seeing everybody more often, families and all that stuff, and I'm gonna be help her study a little bit for your thing on Monday there.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much for being on, dude.
Yeah. See you guys.
Have a good one.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna hang out here for a bit and see if anyone else pops on. I had someone who said they're gonna come on later, so we'll see how long we last.
Check your messages.
Ooh, okay. Should be fun.
But
Ooh, sweet.
I'll send them the link.
Well, you did that. I'm gonna go take a quick bathroom break. So enjoy
right,
the
good.
stew.
Breaks allowed.
Yeah, so Tony, what do you think about stuff?
I think stuff's good and bad at the same time. It depends on what type of stuff it is. Much like FPP Live, which is going to be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. UK time, so that'll be 4 p.m. GMT EST. We'll be doing bullshit stuff and probably do a bit of the tournament, but we're in the middle of the greatest film characters of all time, where it was the T800 versus Paddington was one of them from last week. So who would win? Who's the better character, T800 from Terminator or Paddington Bear from Paddington?
I mean, really, when it comes down to it, it's like you can ask like who would win in a fight. Obviously, be Paddington, but it comes down to a film character. I still have to go Paddington because I will say I've only seen the first two Terminators. I feel like it's a bit of a different experience. And while I love everything about T2, Paddington just feels like a better character, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like there's a lot more story towards the Terminator just because it's been around longer and just. But if anyone hates Paddington, Paddington is my test movie. If anyone hates the Paddington series, I don't want to know you as a person.
While we wait for guests, I also just want to check Letterboxd if anyone has given either of those movies below 3 stars.
They'll be ultimately bland.
They'll be audically bland.
It's 11 o'clock at night and I've not drunk any coffee today.
Jake Mangoni gave it 3. Kurt Kolakowski gave it 1.5 stars. We can yell at him later.
Of course.
But first, someone who gave this movie, someone who hasn't seen this movie according to Letterboxd, unless I'm blind, is one Mr. Nazario Montenegro.
Tony, go to sleep.
It's 11 o'clock. It's fine. I've got another 3 hours.
So, what's up, guys?
Nothing much.
Why did you come in so early, man? I was watching the Oyama Chance match.
I didn't quite. I mean, if you want, you can go back to watching it. I can just kick you off the
No, I already finished. It's all right.
Oh, okay. All right. So I will say, Tony, we have another guest backstage. Do you want to have a double feature? Or want to just focus on Nazario for a bit and why Blockbuster is so amazing?
You can have a double feature and they can say why Blockbuster is so amazing as well.
All right. So In every blockbuster, you need some random Canadian movie. I don't know why, but there's just one there. It's like, oh, hey, look, it's Goon 3. You exist. We got Brooklyn.
The Black Lantern, Brooklyn Vale.
Yeah.
No, not Black Lantern. Big Canadian Boss Man.
Big Canadian Boss Man, even better.
Yeah. Even though it officially only ever got used, I think, for one match.
Yeah.
It works better, though.
That nobody really talks about.
Well, actually, now that Brooklyn's here, we can promote our episode talking about the more meh DC video games on the newest show on town, Unranked. Anybody watch it?
I actually do what I just posted it in chat for you. It's a really good watch. If people haven't watched it, then his name. They're really good watches. It's him, Mike Canley, and anyone they can grab.
That's what happens when you quarantine people for over 3 months. They start making internet videos.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
So, Nazario.
What movie were you talking about that I hadn't ranked?
Paddington.
Oh, yes, I haven't seen Paddington.
You need to.
I will say, Nazario, you are currently competing. You're currently competing in both the Warzone and Fandom tournaments as of right now.
I actually think my fandom match already aired.
I'm double checking that, but also, I mean, you're still competing in multiplex currently. So I just want to talk about like your current sort of things. I know you had the Full Metal Geek match and you lost that, unfortunately. Yeah, but how do you feel? Because again, like, not to hype you up, you are currently like sort of like the greatest character in the fan leagues. And I want to know just like how do you feel? Because we just had this big conversation about character and everything. Where do you stand in sort of that right now? Like character versus gameplay. How do you feel about just playing the game?
My thought will always be gameplay comes first. I mean, if you're good enough that you actually can just show up and play and give a decent performance, even if you lose, then you kind of earn the right to be a character. You can be goofy, you can be funny, you can be serious, you can be whatever you want. But if you come here with this, I don't know, week-long preparation for character work and give this long-winged ass speech and you score 1 point, I don't ever want to see you again.
There's two exceptions to that. Two exceptions.
Okay. Let me know.
Chris Clark and myself.
Yes, I take it.
Okay, but can the average person sing like Meatloaf? That's the difference here.
Can the average person put themselves on the face of a potato and sing, what song was it on? Oh my God, some of the soundtracks. One of the Disney songs was fucking awful in terms of cringe.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, there's actually two intros of Chris Clark singing songs on the face of a potato. It is both creepy and hilarious.
I mean, I actually think Chris Clark is the exception that proves the rule, right? Isn't always one like that?
Yeah, but he was entertaining though. At least, he was never going to win. Yes, Molly, I know Chris Clark was a great competitor. But yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, there's always one person that breaks the rules. So I think it's way harder to have a character that is so good you want to watch it, even if the person sucks. Because if he at least makes it a fight, I think it's then it keeps people more entertaining. Now, that makes me think: is there an opposite one of that? Is there anybody that is so good that does no character work and it doesn't matter?
There was
Brian Michaels.
An example.
No, Brian Michael did that intro where he edited everybody.
He does the intros, but it's like him and Joseph Oliver.
I mean, if we're talking about people who are just who are competitors but put characters in a back burner, Jeremy I think would be the best example. He didn't really have a character; he was just himself. But that sort of rubbed off into him being considered a babyface. But he was just sort of that was just him. Other examples of that.
Character. And in real life, he was a douche.
Oh,
who?
Jeremy Adams famously does punch kittens in his day-to-day life.
Kidding. Just kidding.
I'm not. Jeremy,
I will say
before
his last match, he did have a character for a hot second. Like Jeremy Adams did turn heel for about however long that match was, like 40 minutes or whatever. So it's still there.
Yeah.
Thanks to the introduction of somebody and his group.
Yeah.
into
Zario
their
and his wonderful faction.
Yes. I mean, we took him in. We took a Team 80s in. I actually think they were one of the best choices at the time. But we never discussed the fact that he was considering retirement, sadly. So probably if he would have told us before, we wouldn't have put him in because, that's has its ramifications. But I don't regret it. I think, like you said, for a hot minute, he was a heel with us and it was fun.
Yeah, and he was like Adam Collins, Cody. It's like, hey, got you. Oh, okay, you're gone.
And you're gone. Yes.
Yeah.
So Adam in the background, just like everyone's fighting over me. I know the truth. Mwah.
I would have loved. I still want to ask him about that. I was supposed to book him for an interview, but then I saw Scott. I was like, I don't want to steal Scott's stuff. But I want to ask him
you mean Champ Slim, which is on Future Preparation Productions tonight.
Yeah,
actually.
exactly. Champ Slim on Future Preparation Productions. I stand Scott Harvey. That man's amazing.
Yeah.
But I have to wonder, like, how is that? Like, you're in talks with Shane and Barney for like a month or so. It's like, yeah, you might come to this Friday. I was like, okay, cool. You just play it and then tell absolutely nobody about it. I was like, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to playing in the league and having a title match against Jake and da 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 da. And then you're just fucking gone. He's just fucking gone.
Sorry, guys. What did I miss? The Queen was needed outside.
We were talking about Adam Collins.
We were saying
Oh,
about
okay.
how
Oh, yeah.
Adam Collins just went like, oh yeah, I'll join your faction. That's fine. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm leaving to join the Throwdown. Bye.
Yeah. I still haven't talked to him since everything happened. But yeah.
Actually, like Brooklyn, now that you've like taken a backseat from managing, how do you feel about just the fan league?
I feel a hell of a lot better. I'm not gonna lie. This COVID-19 has been really rough on me. My depression has gotten a lot worse, and I've had a ton of anxiety attacks. In terms like where like back to the doctors, back on like medication. So like I'm actually like feeling a lot better. But yeah, taking a step back for sure was good. I had originally joined these fan leagues in terms of like, this was the thing to sort of get rid of my stress, and then after a couple of years, it's now this is the stress, and I think I just got too involved because essentially, and this is the point that I sort of wanted to come on, and the whole reason why I messaged you guys is that like whenever the leagues first started, and I think Nazario can talk about this, is that like whenever like things were pretty small. Whenever we started, there's only like 3 leagues, and the rosters were pretty small exponentially. So for anybody new coming in, and for like that crop of people coming in, so like myself and like Caleb Coho would come in a few months later. Like Zadius was also part of that, and I think Nico would have been a few months earlier. But you had to be either really good at trivia, or you had to be like a really good character, or you had to have an idea for something. So for me, I'm awful at trivia. So I came up with the idea of the now defunct League of Jukebox Trivia. So I did that for a while, and did podcasts and stuff. So like that was another avenue. And there's not a lot of competitors that have that avenue. Like obviously like Adelaide and Tony, like you guys have been able to do great things with like called fan leagues. And then I think Tony's is like second, like in terms of like just people getting their feet wet, even better than miscellaneous itself. Like the whole FPTL thing has been great, to the point where we've even gotten Sue to potentially commit to her second fan league appearance ever, which is crazy considering this is your first time I think in 2 years. But yeah, I've said to people before, this community has changed a lot, and I've just sort of grown out of it, and I'm kind of glad that I've taken a step back.
Yeah,
it's been a rough ride. What is it now? 3.5 years?
It'll be 3 years for me in October.
Yeah, I started in the now defunct, even though apparently they still get alerts.
They're talking about coming back. I think
that the Movie Trivia Modern Reaction League.
Yeah.
Back then ran by Joey Morin. I think now I don't even know who runs that. But I started there.
I believe it's the person that we don't talk about anymore.
That shall not be named. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it started like that, and everybody was like reacting to things, and then like everything, it devolves in: is this person being honest? Is this person cheating? Because I mean, taping yourself reacting to a match, I mean, it's very easy to just watch the thing, know the answers, and then tape yourself rewatching it, right? So this kind of morph into the, you know what, let's do it live to see if this person actually is as good as it appears he is. And then we started.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah, I remember whenever. Yeah.
And then this turned into the first kind of trivia online thing I ever did. That was the Rings of Fire, that morphed into Full Metal, and then it just blew up. And honestly, I think it has had ups and downs. I have been involved in both, I gotta say. But I actually think right now, Feature Presentation League and Multiplex are doing so many great things that it started to make it fun again. They are very inventive with the things they do, and they have now morphed into more than just trivia. There's the what's the name? I'm sorry. That you do that where you pick people and they do like a draft. Fantasy draft. That is a great show. Your List Sucks is a great show. I don't do the watch along ones because that's too long. But I mean, there's different stuff that is interesting for everybody.
A jam session. Did somebody say jam session? I could have sworn somebody said jam session.
Music, right? You the music guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, when I listen to some of those interviews, which are actually pretty great, it kind of makes me want to invest back in music. I was like really deep into music when I was in high school, all the way to college. But I don't know, something happened when I started working that I had to like choose something. So I just focused on movies more.
Yeah. But for me, I think, then to be honest with you, Cody, as much as he and I have argued, we've seen eye to eye on like a fair chunk of things. And one of the last things that he and I had really talked about was that I was a music guy that was stuck in like a movie community. And I like just to have that perspective and be able to sort of pull things back. Because honestly, like one of the greatest things that I've been able to do during this time, essentially off, has been listening to a ton of more music. Like even like Zach Ford, my last interview, I went through one of the artists that he picked. I went through his entire discography in one night, because it's like, I have the time. I'm able to do these things now, and it's just been it's been very therapeutic and very calming.
I feel a lot too, like especially just like generally like the existence of COVID has sort of like helped sort of like enrich my arts. Like on top of just like studying for films and stuff, like I talk to Ko a lot because I have a lot of music blind spots. Like I binged half of MCR's discography. I've discovered some new artists.
I'm sorry.
Holtzman's turned me on to this new band.
What? Rap Parade's one of the greatest concept albums ever, and even that new album, and even like the album after it, isn't that awful.
Oh, it's Danger Days. I think when I first listened to it, I fucking love Danger Days, and then I dove into this band, a local band for Holtzman called Marianas Trench, who I fucking adore now.
Canadian band, Marianas Trench.
Yeah.
And of course, you like Marianas Trench. That is the most Spence band to ever like.
What is your I know Nazario is a big fan of Weezer, but Adelaide, what is your stance on Weezer?
I mean, I liked a lot of their shit. I love their cover album that came out with a couple years ago or last year.
Yeah, the Teal album came out last year. It was pretty good. Yeah.
They dropped 2 albums on the same day.
The Teal album and the Black album. One was pretty good, and the other one was garbage.
And I like some of their older stuff because I grew up on it, especially like Beverly Hills was like my shit in middle school.
I think, my whole thing is
I grew up with the
blue FCR and Marianas Trench, then you're going to love Weezer. I think Nazario could put in a really good pitch for Pearl Jam. I would throw in like Soundgarden. I know a lot of people don't like Audioslave, but I personally enjoy Audioslave.
It's pretty good.
I forget. I think one of the Weezer covers was in a comic book movie. Just like, holy shit, it's Weezer! And so my friend was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Which wasn't no Scrubs. It wasn't Sabotage, was it? Their Black Sabbath cover.
I'm gonna look it up and see because I know it was Africa.
I know Weezer was in Frozen too.
Yes, Into the Unknown.
No, Lost in the Woods.
Oh, Lost in the Woods, yeah.
Into the Unknown was Panic at the Disco, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
because they're in their weird like covering other songs from popular movies phase.
To answer Malcolm's question, Sandwich Podcast will never happen. At most, it will be a thing on Nazario's show.
Yes, I tried to convince him to do that, but we decided to save it for later.
Save it for
Maybe
later.
an anniversary show.
Yeah.
Also, the regular-
3 years of a curse is something. That's we're coming up on a 3-year anniversary of that.
So where did he? Like, I think everyone in this community, if you've been around for like at least 5 weeks, you would hear Brooklyn Curse. Where did that actually come from? Where was the first instance?
So that was actually my first ever singles fan league match against Jake Marignoni. In the first ever Snowball, he and I were picked to do singles debuts. The video is still there. You can find it. You'll find me being a very cringy heel, and then Jake just owning me for 2 rounds. Spoiler alert: he knocks me out. But I got movie release dates in round 2, and I think it was like it was either 3 of the 4 or 4 of the 5 questions. I was off by 1 year. And then I noticed that kept happening throughout my matches, and then I just started referring to it. And then it just caught on, and
And of course, that was invented then by MTFO 2 years later.
Yeah, definitely. By nobody else.
I will say
Actually,
it was
that's funny because the first time I played in the MTFO, somebody did that, and I was like, Brooklyn Sandwich, and everyone was like, what is that? I was like, really? 2 years into this, and you don't even know what a Brooklyn Sandwich is? Shame.
that's right.
The MTFO didn't even know there were other leagues existing when they appeared.
No, it's crazy.
And
Like
because
it's crazy to think that 2 of the 3. Nazario, did you compete in Jukebox or no? I don't think you did. Did you?
No.
No. Yeah, that's weird. None of you have competed in Jukebox Trivia, which is crazy, considering that was a thing for like almost 2 years.
I thought about messaging you a couple of times because I watched a match and then I'd be like, this is all right, I can do this. And then I watched another match and I was like, no, I'm not good at this. Then another match would come up and I was like, well, maybe actually I knew most of this. And then something else would come up and no. So music is too wide. It's like there's so many genres. And I think it's an important difference between movies and music. In music, you like genres that you like, and that's what you listen. In movies, you kind of watch everything.
Also,
I'm going to throw Nico in here
as well. TV music, for an international player, we have got such a disadvantage because, like, I can tell you so much about British music, but it's just like if you went into country music, for example, I would be completely screwed. So it's like one of those things where it's like,
let's make a match.
I would disagree because our only champion was from the UK.
Oh.
I will say though, like I helped friend from the old show, Danny Koss. I know I helped him study for a bit for Jukebox, and just taking it all in, like I couldn't process it. Like it was a lot.
It was crazy.
Yeah, and I wanted I wanted to be a music historian when I was younger, and I put a lot of research, especially into classic music. And looking back on it, like it's so dense. And at least with the movies, it's harder because like you have to get a wide release, you have to get like established people. If it's not huge, it gets forgotten about. Music can hit anywhere at any time, could be brought back at any station, and they could just fucking blow you out of the water, and you don't know it's coming.
Yeah, one of my favorite match formats that no longer exists, but if somebody wanted to do it, I would gladly help them. Was the old heads up format that I did back.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to do too, because like especially that last one where people just got to pick an artist, and then like I think myself and Cody were the hosts of the last ones. To quickly answer Malcolm's question, no, Rosa was not a Jukebox champion. He did contend for it, but lost on the last question. But the heads up format was really cool because if people had to study like 8 or 10 particular like artists or bands. I never competed in that, but I did compete in 2 regular format Jukebox matches, and one of them was really weird. The first one.
I gave away an answer in your first one.
Well, that first one, it was weird enough in itself in that I actually won that match. I was on this unique hot streak at the time. It was a period where I was playing like 4 matches that week, and I was doing really well in all of them. And yeah, like I was gonna lose that match, and then you had that little slip up in the 3rd round, where I ended up just barely beating Kane McMillan. I used all my repeats trying to think of that Weird Al song just to make sure I didn't screw up the title of Trapped in the Drive-Thru, but it worked out in my favor. Second one we did for the first trivia for Thon, and it was against Jay Burns, and that was kind of what helped start the rivalry I've had with Jay. I don't know. We both, I think we did okay in round 1, and then afterwards things kind of went downhill for the both of us, but they went more downhill for me than for him. Did we go to sudden death?
That's a good question. I remember for your first match, I think that was the first and only time I've ever had Ed Sale as a co-host, and the only time you can ever find both of us on the hosting table. But your second match, I don't really remember a whole lot. I know that Jay picked Insane Clown Posse as one of his strengths, but that was this.
Actually, now that you mention him, did Ed Sales retire? I haven't seen that guy in a long time.
So from what I understand, he went to focus on Full Metal, on just core IG and Full Metal Geek, and then I think he just sort of got you know what I mean. He just sort of got not written out, but he just sort of lost interest. But yeah, long live Royal Flush.
The last time I remember seeing him was actually when he beat me at Full Metal Geek. That was over a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I know. I was supposed to play him actually last year, playing into the fandom tournament with the Sandwich. It was supposed to be us versus Ed and Eli, I think. And just because Session didn't work out, we got bumped up to face Necro instead, and that was an almost very strange alternate history where we almost beat him. But
what that would be if you beat Mark and Joe.
Again, if I knew how to bet, that's a very real reality.
I actually really dislike those multiple betting question rounds.
They're not hard. They're not hard though if you have math.
I know, but still, I have a thing. I work very hard for my points, so I don't want to lose them. So even if it's something I really know, if I don't really have to I just trying to keep around. I just bet 1 or 0s when I shouldn't, and it has cost me so many matches. I lost a match where I knew 4 of the 5 questions because I bet 0 and 3.
It's a curse and a blessing, because on one hand, that betting round is what got me the win over Boatman. On the other hand, that betting round is what helped cost me the match against Butler. So it's all how you play your cards.
It's literally just it, but I think for me, I'm just able. For me personally, I'm able to almost double it down for myself, where it's almost like probability, where it's just if a category is in the bottom half or whatever, then betting zero is fine, or it's you know what I mean. It's the first 3 categories were MCU, Wizarding World, and Planet of the Apes. There's a good chance it's going to be a fringe category in the last 3. We can wait here and then attack next, just based off of that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm personally not opposed to the betting round. I think it's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't hate it. I play it. The thing is, I don't prefer it. But I prefer any kind of round where you lose points.
Yeah. Although we could bring back the old IMDb round.
IMDb round is fantastic.
No.
I love it.
I don't understand why people hated that.
Because I think it allowed for people like Caleb Coho to get really good, because he got really good at data mining study.
But yeah, it's a raw data category, and that's it.
It makes sense though. It's one of those ones where it's an even playing field. The IMDb one. Not if you can study it, great, but it's not a case where it's oh, I accidentally betted the wrong number twice and I've lost this match.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to figure out with. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Also, Nazario is the OG, in terms of using codes for betting, which is personally ingenious. Because you're giving away zero information whenever you do that, and especially betting, like when Tony will understand completely whenever I say, whenever you have position, and you know what the person's doing, then it's a lot easier to make the decision.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. Nazario had years to formulate that code because he and Mike Hanley have been inseparable for like the past 3 years. So they've got that system packed down from just.
I mean, dude, if you have a great partner, why are you gonna change him?
Yeah,
I'm talking for Mike now.
True. That's something I never get with the fan leagues. Like, it's so people are so quick to drop your partner if like give it a year.
Which wasn't the case like whenever we first started because it was ride or die. It was ride or die. I remember talking about like potentially like drop leaving Ed and going with somebody else. Somebody's like, what do you mean? Ed's your ride or die? And it's like, yeah, we haven't had a lot of success. Maybe it's probably better for him to upgrade to like play with somebody else. But now it's just like, yeah, drop. Here you go. Yeah, new team started next year.
Well,
which is weird.
It was shocking to me. I actually think I saw one person have 4 different teammates at one point. Like one for fandom teams, one for Warzone teams, one for Full Metal teams, and somewhere else. It was like, how can you even remember who you're supposed to study with?
I see. I like the idea of different teammates across different leagues. I think it gives you the opportunity to like find who your core is. So if you have like a favorite league or one thing you're gunning for, you can work on it with them. And I was gonna do that because again, Full Metal is a little iffy. It hasn't debuted there yet. But I was gonna be like Multiplex. I got Red Shaw, and MTFO. I could have whoever the fuck else. Because like maybe you just gel better with one person, or working with someone else who's not your go-to. Let's look at Rizzy and
Dustin
Price. Yeah, Rizzy and Dustin, best friends for years. Presumably they have a lot of the same information. If you put Rizzy with someone else, maybe that they cover his weaknesses rather than watching all the same movies because they've grown up together for like 15 years or whatever.
I think it's also chemistry too. You look at a team like Mischief Managed, where they go into, or even Blockbuster Video, where it's like it's almost like different runs or whatever. So like Mischief Managed, they went on the Phantom Teams run or whatever, and then it's like, all right, well, time to stop and let's focus on this. So like Bowman went on to focus on singles. I realized that I've contradicted my own point because Bowman's with Zach. But yeah, I instead of like putting your eggs into too many different baskets, you know what I mean? Like almost like focus on one thing, and then whenever that's done, sort of move to the next.
So for me, it was kind of a situation of like any team I was a part of kept getting forcibly broken up in like the weirdest of circumstances. When Henry Sanchez was running his league, I was supposed to compete in the tournament with Jono Stowell as my partner. He never, wow. Brooklyn knows who that is. He never returned any of my messages after a certain point, and then I ended up getting paired up with last minute with He Who Shall Not Be Named. And then we almost beat the Book of Eli, which was Dan Skip Allen and Eli McKay, but Speed Racer did us in, and that was the last we ever teamed up together. Then I tried a Freebird situation with Jen Kemp and Jessica Morgan, and we just decided that I was the bird that was weighing down the nest. So then I started pairing with Matthew Rosa, and Cody Newberry broke us up, and Matt then took a break from movie trivia for his mental health. Then I was with Doman, and then Doman put his foot in his mouth, and we had to be broken up there. And now I'm with RJ. So it's been a situation of just wanting to make teams work, but life had other plans for me.
You have a name for your new team?
Enter the Dragon Zord.
So you see, when they come into the match, they're gonna do like a giant jump, and then they're gonna enter the Dragon Zord, and then they're gonna fight some like big 50-foot fucking alien. If Kaiju comes back, they're the perfect team to fight in there because they'll just fight the Kaiju.
That for every match we win, I would like to draw a Zord so that we can be like, we're unlocking new Zords with every victory, like it's a video game.
every new pro, we have someone else coming in. It's like Triceratops or something.
Something along those lines.
Saber-tooth tiger.
Police car, because that one existed for some reason.
Just one more thing. At this moment, I gotta take off. The queen is getting a little bit antsy, so I'm gonna go spend some time with her before we go to bed. But thank you for having me, guys.
That was great.
A lot of fun.
Again.
Miscellaneous Sunday night. Might be me hosting, might be somebody else. We'll find out. We'll see you later.
Yeah. Ooh. So, sorry. How you doing?
Are you asking?
He didn't hear what you said.
Nazario, how are you doing?
Oh, sorry, I did not hear anything. How am I doing? What, like in life?
Yeah, just like I feel like it's a very, very like laid back stream. It's nice. It's just
I have not left this house for things other than food. I think only food. Oh, and toys. Food and toys. For what it's going right now on 92 days. So yeah, it's
Dan
I actually was pretty happy at first. Then I was really relaxed. Then I started feeling boxed in. Then I kind of lose my mind for like a week or so. I'm okay now.
Oh, good.
Dan Skip Allen created a chat room that myself and Nazario were both a part of. And like every week, Nazario would send us a photo of a toy or set of Legos that he had just bought for himself. He has children, but these toys were always for him.
Yeah. You have to teach your children.
Hey, he has his own toy.
You don't get to get.
yeah. This is mine. This is yours. Fuck off.
Actually, now that he's a little older, he's like 4 years old now. He is since he learned very early how to actually build the small piece Lego ones. He now helps me out. So we have had a lot of projects actually. Now that in the quarantine, we're filling up. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that?
Oh, the wall.
Kind of.
I'm gonna move. Wait. We've been filling up a display that I'm doing, building things.
Ooh.
And actually, he's helping me out. See, we're currently building that one that he's attempting to destroy. Don't destroy it. And we have been building a lot. See, Stranger Things.
Nice.
Restaurant. Oh, the movie theater I already had from a while back. We did a haunted mansion and a haunted castle and Castle Grayskull.
Yes.
So it's been a lot of parent-son time actually for the quarantine. So that's kind of great.
Lego's a thing that I'm scared to get into. Because I've done about a dozen jigsaws at this point. If I start going on Lego, I'm gonna lose my wage.
I will say something. If you're trying to collect something else, and you don't go down the Lego rabbit hole because that's just like a money pit.
Yeah.
It's too late for me, but save yourselves.
Trust me, as a kid who grew up around Legos, they are an expensive hobby.
I will say, I think it'd be really like. I don't know why I just thought about it. I would love if you could make like custom Legos. So I love just one day Nazario just like finds a weird package on his front step, opens it up, and it's just a pre-built, or not pre-built, but like a box of like a Lego Blockbuster video that he can make.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
I literally just looked it up to see if it was actually available, and it's not.
No, it's not. But I have a friend that does custom Lego builds, and he has built like a very famous Panamanian store called Do It Center. It's kind of like I don't even know the American ones where like a Home Depot, kind of a Home Depot style store. But then he made like custom stickers with the logo, and he put it in, and it looks beautiful. He made a McDonald's, a KFC, and he made a Disney store, and it's pretty amazing. I should actually ask him for a Blockbuster video now that you mentioned.
Get the Blockbuster. Get the specific Blockbuster from Captain Marvel that she fell through the roof of.
Also, just like get it for Mike for you guys' like 5-year anniversary or something. Just be like, hey, here you go, hubby, and you like get each other like Blockbuster videos.
You know what? I might take you up on that. There's no question because.
What the fuck, Mike?
Nazar, I got a question for. How do you come up with the episodes for M Ranked? Like, what goes through your mind when you're like, okay, we'll do this for this episode? Like, where does the inspiration come from?
Honestly, just things on the day. The first one we actually were reading I don't know if you guys have seen, we released, actually Mike released, is his show, an episode of Holy Script where a bunch of us read the script for Clerks live. So we did that, and I told Mike, you know what, since you and I played Randall and Dante, we might as well do the short thing he wrote later, and he made a small video called The Flying Car. I'll get the script, you and I can take that and do it for like 5 minutes and post it, and maybe that's a show. We did that. It was fun. Then the next day, I woke up, nothing to do. I called Mike and I said, what do you feel like doing today? And he says, I don't know. I'm watching the Twilight Zone, the movie. I was like, okay, let's do a ranking of the movies. And basically, that's how it works. We just talk a bit, decide what we want to do, and then just film it and post it with no editing or prep. But actually, we are opening a bit now the doors to people. There's some people that always have wanted to do something or wanted to talk about something and didn't have a medium or whatever. And we're doing that now. We had Brooklyn a couple of days ago, and he wanted to talk about DC video games. We had a great episode with Lucas Schilbach, if you haven't seen it, where he wanted to talk about shark movies. We talked about shark movies. And we might have a couple of fun things for next week that will pop up on Monday or... Oh, hi, Mike. That might pop Monday or Tuesday. We actually have... It's ridiculous. We started with no plans, no nothing. And now we actually have like some things kind of scheduled. It's hilarious. Sadly, though, this will probably only last like a regular thing as long as I am home quarantined, because when I get back to work, I'm not sure how much are we going to post. Maybe we'll make time for it and make it a weekly thing or whatever. But it's all part of the joke. So
This week on M Ranked, fuck work. Why does the world need to exist?
Why can't we
by the
go
way,
back to
it is
COVID?
an open invitation. If anybody watching or any of you wants to do an episode, just DM me, tell me a good idea. We'll make a funny spin on it and shoot it, shop it, post it.
No?
Yeah. I will say, I did hear about your
I-
your next script reading, and it sounds amazing, and I can't wait to see it.
It's
To be-
it's an intense one, actually. I was reading my part and I was like, whoa, this is gonna be interesting.
I find it highly inappropriate that you are doing Schindler's List, but good luck to it.
Jesus Christ.
To piggyback off of what Adelaide said, on the next episode of M Ranked, top 10 ways to quit your job.
If I didn't need the money, I probably would.
Or just imagine like walking into your job and be like, hey, so we're gonna do this, and you keep like redoing different methods. Boss is like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, I'm just like acting out ways to get fired. Do you want to get fired?
You know, actually, it's funny because our biggest watch episode is the one dealing with cheating at online trivia. We peaked too early. We haven't been able to get close to the amount of views that one has. It's almost reaching 100 by now.
Yeah, I wonder
gotta-
if people are watching it.
Story of my
I gotta
life.
ask. I mean, you can't speak for the multiplex April Fool's Day match, but how many messages did you get after that episode of M Ranked?
You mean like people asking me like, what, this is somebody or this is about these people, like stuff like that?
Stuff like that, but also maybe from people who were like asking you, "Were you making fun of me here?"
I got 4 that I will not name.
Aw.
Aw.
I know. I know. I got one because someone was watching the April Fool's match and was like, "Did you see how he was cheating?" He's like, "What do you mean?" Somebody the video clip was just like, "Speak louder." Yeah. Oh, fuck it. What is a good German about? And just saying that, and then just like over their head.
I have no
Yeah,
idea
got a
what
lot
that
of
reference is.
we got a lot of inside jokes around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this. I will say this. People, I do believe that most people get it. I think most people know that this is gonna take a little thick skin, like just to play in these leagues, just to host matches, just to be the community that we are. You cannot just take everything and make a big deal out of it. Of course, there will be sometimes things that cross the line, and you have to call those things because if not, then it's just anarchy. But you can't just be like a piece of glass that breaks with everything. You're not gonna last.
No.
We're a fun group, but we're an intense group too. So
And that's
there
why
has
certain
to be a
leagues fall
balance.
apart.
There has to be a balance.
That's why certain leagues fall apart, is because they either didn't have the thickest of skin, or their priorities were in the wrong places, or withholding information from the players.
Ouch! I didn't know that one.
All right, I didn't tell you who you're playing once, okay? You don't have to keep me on blast.
Oh, by the way, the one time I have played with somebody other than Mike was in Tony's league, and I played with Jay Burns and I won, and I never played again because his weird UK schedule makes him play like an hours that I can't play usually.
I'll try.
Just being insomniac like the rest of us is not Nazario. Damn.
We've also played with each other against Mike and Jacoby.
Oh,
right.
In an alternate reality.
Was that also? That's another universe.
No comprendo.
It was Earth 5.5.
How does the song go from Mystery Science Theater 3000? It's like in a not so distant future, but something like that. Something like that, where it's like, ooh, it's like another world, but also like, is it?
Has someone put that on the movie Warzone wheel? Movies you would find on Mystery Science Theater 3000.
No, but that'd be a dick wheel.
I've looked at doing it for FPTL. It's too difficult because the majority of them, the ones that you know from Mystery Science Theater, never made it to cinema. They're either B movies or like they never got anything popular.
Are there at least 6 movies from there that made it to film somehow? Made it to cinema?
I think you could if you wanted to, but
Silent Earth, Planet Nine from Outer Space, Manos, The Hands of Fate. What else?
Yeah. Well, the problem is, Nico, with that is that you'd also have to really like cross-reference every episode to see if which ones qualify.
You know, there's like 200 episodes, right?
Yeah.
So great. Like, just go watch the show.
I mean, I can just look up the movies on Wikipedia and see like, did this one make it? Did that one make it?
Maybe right. No, like Against Kirk, his Strange 70s Lumet. A lot of those didn't come out in theaters. I had to cross-reference every single one of them to double check. It's like you would think they would, but they don't technically.
That's maybe sometimes why you choose categories like that to make you.
Yeah.
To just be a dick.
I would love a trophy question. I would love one day I'll just write the worst movies ever to exist. So Tesseract is.
And just have me write an FPTL match. I'll only write about trash movies. Then boom, you can get a Trolls 2 question.
No.
Troll 2.
My God. I still can't wait for fucking next year when Cats becomes a deep cut movie thanks to me, and I'm gonna make everyone go through pain.
I wanted
to suck at.
That movie was.
Or maybe the movie saw me.
Sorry, Cameron, about not being able to use Sunshine on Leaf.
It doesn't exist in America, Tony.
It does not. I'm so upset by it because it's a fantastic film. People need to find a way to watch it.
Convince Criterion to buy it or some shit.
What's the name of the movie?
Sunshine on Leaf.
No idea what.
Jukebox musical about the Proclaimers. It's about a pair of Scottish brothers went to war.
They're the ones who did I Would Walk 500 Miles, right? Yeah. That's a 4-pointer. Fuck.
I think I've used it.
Maybe.
Alan, I can't remember if I had told you this or not, and I never got to go through with it, but like when Cats was in theaters, I had a plan to watch it twice. Once to actually watch the movie itself, and then the other time I was going to sit in the front row with a beach chair, turn it backwards so I could watch the audience watching the movie suffer in pain.
I'm sorry, that would be the creepiest thing ever. If you just sat in the cinema and just there's someone there just like.
Oh, it would be fucking terrifying, but that sounds hilarious. I will say that I've officially watched it twice because a few nights ago a bunch of the fetuses were hanging out together, and Ko was making bad decisions. He's like, if there's a time to make me watch Cats, it's now. I'm like, okay, and I just put it on. Boatman walks in like, you watching Cats? Like, yeah, and you're stuck here. He's like,
I'm sorry, Cameron.
Cameron's there too.
Wait, so you actually own Cats?
So for those who don't know, I wrote an essay on it for my final in my film history class, talking about like the rise of cult movies and how Rocky Horror and Cats have similarities, which I would be burned at the stake for. And so I needed to buy it.
I kind of resent that. I actually think Rocky Horror is a pretty good movie.
Well, it's not that it's bad. It's just the idea of just like the cult midnight musical and how we can trace that and a few other midnight movies to why Cats, I believe, would be a future midnight success, which it sort of was before all this happened.
No, because the thing about Rocky Horror for the cult classic stuff is because it was such an iconic thing for the gay community at the time, where they didn't really have much of media of their own to take. So whereas you look at a lot of stuff like YMCA, for example, The Village People, that was very much like the stereotypical gay, whereas this was like promoting trans, like cross-dressing or this malarkey. So
it's a different kind of community.
Fairies.
It's a different kind of community, but it's the idea of just like the midnight experience, because that's where Rocky Horror made its stride. And initially it did come out as that. Cats is based on the meminess, going there, getting drunk and screaming and laughing, but it's very different. But that was the thing. Anyways, I own it because I wanted to watch it once or twice for reference to that, and I didn't, thankfully, but I didn't need to. And I was supposed to do a watch along on FPP for it with a few people, and that sort of fell through because people backed out. They didn't want to do it certain nights because they couldn't drink those nights, and then it just didn't happen.
I went to watch it in theaters because I remember I watched and I was like, okay, I know where this is going. And then it lost me and I fell asleep. And then I woke up and the movie was still going. I was like, oh, wait, what happened here? And then I tried to figure out what was happening, but I don't think it's possible. And then they sang Memory and Get Into the Balloon. That was it. Honestly, I did love one thing, though. When Ian McKellen just went, meow, I was like, half a star. You earned half a star there.
Oh no! I love the entirety existence of Ian McKellen. Everyone else was just like, "Ooh, I'm a cat." He's like, "I'm a cat." Like he actually becomes a cat for no fucking reason. I would
never.
Hey guys, I actually have to go be a parent and feed the kid now. So this was fun. Catch you later.
Okay. Goodbye, Nazario.
Malcolm, you're insane. I did a double feature of Cats and Little Women at the movies. And
he gave Cats a higher rating. I don't know if that's true, and that just wouldn't surprise me.
I need to look at this now.
I know Rizzy gave it like I think 2.5 and 3.5 stars. I'm just like I give it 5 stars. That's for the meme factor. Like that's different than a genuine 3.5 stars.
I don't think I've ever walked out of a movie theater before, but I've come close. What was like? Can you guys give me some stories about times you've walked out of a movie theater, or just like I can't do this?
I've never done it. The one time I was close is I went with my mom to watch Insurgent. As a big fan of the book series, and I liked the first movie enough. We had like half an hour left in the film. Just like, can I leave? Is it okay? She was like, no. And the second the credits hit, I ran out of the theater. I fucking hated that movie so much. It's today. It was my first ever like 2-star movie. And granted, that's changed now because I've watched Garbage, aka The Boss Baby. It's also now dropped to like 1 star or some shit. But I can't fucking.
I've never walked out of cinema. If I've paid to go see a movie, I'm gonna watch to the very bitter end. I don't care how bad it is. I'm a monster like that. I need to get my value for money. I'm someone that I can't go to sleep in a cinema. I can't do anything. I need to just watch the movie. So I've sat through some.
I feel you on that, but I can tell you the closest was when I was a child. And listen, child me could sit through anything. Like I was just like, I'm along for the ride. I'm a happy guy who will handle anything. But I was like young me was watching Shark Boy and Lava Girl on the big screen.
Don't you be going
Andy?
having a go at Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Don't you fucking dare. Don't you?
And
In this
even-
house, we respect Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
It was bad. It was
You're
bad, and
bad.
young me knew it.
You're bad and you should feel bad.
Just saying. Just saying.
You know what? Thank you, Holtzman. Thank you. I almost did the same thing, but for vastly different reasons. I don't like that.
Turned on by Brad Pitt.
No, I just don't. I fucking hate that movie. I hate it so much.
I tried watching it on the plane over to LA, and I gave up halfway through. I'm just not a Tarantino person.
Yeah, I've gotten off the Tarantino Kool-Aid, thank God. But like,
Cam, fight me. Come on this call and fight me.
I'll drop him the link. He'll do it gladly.
Yeah, he will happily destroy you.
Like,
because Shark Boy
made-
and Lava Girl. From
Go ahead and say what's on your mind.
I was going to say Shark Boy and Lava Girl is a good movie, and B, the reason why we were able to have Shark Boy and New Jack in professional wrestling as a tag team together.
What?
Wow. TNA did that.
I'm confused. What words you're saying?
New
just
Jack
talking
is a
from-
professional wrestler that nearly killed a guy.
Many times. And he's actually killed 4 people.
Shark Boy is a gimmick that was taken for wrestling, and it's basically just Stone Cold Steve Austin, but with
No.
shark puns.
No, hold it. That was in 2008 when he lost his mind and they found out he had a thing. His thing was instead from the mid 90s, he was a shark who wrestled. His finishing move was to bite your opponent on the arse.
Yeah. Okay. This is the same thing. Like this goes for this front end as well. I miss absurd characters in anything. 'Cause I feel like to really just like lean into whatever the fuck we're doing. Sometimes you want to be stupid, and like I know like before I had the face turn shit, I thought I had a big idea for that as well. But like I feel like you can go with like a really absurd out there character and still maintain something interesting. Also, hey Nico, you wanted to fight? You got one.
I'm here to fight.
Fight. All right, here's what we're going to do, lads. You're going to have 2 minutes each to give your positions, then you'll have
Okay, this
5
isn't a
minutes.
structured debate. We know that doesn't
This
work.
is
Go
not a
ahead,
structured
Holtzman.
debate. Listen, Shark Boy and Lava Girl is one of the greatest films ever made. Point number 1. Have you heard the song Dream, 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 Dream? Because
That's
I
what
have,
almost
and
made
it's
me walked out of the theater.
Listen here. The villains are a teacher who turns into a television-looking man with electrical cables for legs, and a kid whose name is Minus. You can't get better than that. He ruined my dream journal. Greatest quote in the history of cinema. They ride down a river made of milk on a boat that is a cookie. Do you think Taylor Lautner would have gotten Twilight if he hadn't been Shark Boy beforehand? No, he wouldn't. He should have won an Oscar for that movie. Look. Robert Rodriguez is a genius, and he directed classic films such as Desperado and whatever those other movies he directed are. And more importantly, he directed Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Hey. Spike is
Malcolm
pretty
sided
game
with
over.
Nico. My point is made that I'm correct.
Yeah.
It is, but no joke. Shark Boy and Lava Girl is the movie that like cemented me and my best friend's friendship, because we watched it together at some point because we had like nothing else to do and we were just laughing and we had such a good time to the point where her name in my phone is Lava Girl and my name in her phone is Shark Boy. Like, it's insane. And now we just watch like weird, ridiculous kids movies together.
Like zombies.
Objectively, should it win Best Picture? No.
Yes.
But it is a movie that is worthy of existing and should be watched because it is fun as hell.
It also nearly birthed the greatest/worst team to ever play in MTFO Geek, where I was holding Karen Holtzman hostage for.
Hold on tight,
like
Spider
a few
Monkey.
Yeah.
To quote a different Taylor Lautner movie.
a different, probably worse.
No, in MTFO Geek, me and Adelaide Spence were going to be Shark Boy and Lava Person.
Yes.
Right? I come up with the best team names.
Tits up, so.
Yeah, I would love to do an episode on just like failed team names that like didn't happen. I would still like to believe that me and Andrew Barr's Waka Waka, not a good team name, but also a great
I'm
team
sorry,
name.
my favorite team name that you suggested for you and Andrew Barr that didn't get selected still is and always will be Bruce Campbell's Mysterio.
It's such a bad fucking team. It's horrible, and I love it.
Tony, what did you give me and Barr for a team name for Trivia for Thon?
I have no memory. That was like 6 months ago. I've slept since then.
You sure?
Look, it all depends on how good Andrew Barr's team partner is. Because my suggestion for Barr, if he were to team up with if Barr and Brian Michaels, for example, were to team up, it's not going to happen. But if they were, I'm like, because they're both great players, team raising the bar. But then Spence and Barr were like, hey, we're going to team up. And I went, you guys should be team lowering the bar.
Yes. So
I would love that. It's just like the contrast. Like Andrew Barr is in two teams. One good teammate, the other one's me.
And he's in both of those teams at the same time with those two names.
here's what you do: you have a coin flip before every match to decide which one you face off against.
I still think my favorite is there's been frequent discussion about like what happened, like if me and Doc Redshaw were to team up and become a team, what would that name be? Because we're two guys both named Cameron. We're like puns based on that. Spence, we're not going with the one that everyone keeps saying we're going with.
That's a great team name, and you know
we would never be the Cam Girls.
Why not?
Yes.
So when me and Jacoby first got put together, there were 2 other people in the chat. So it was like 4 people, and Keys said that went back when he was running Formel, went, all right, you guys decide who you want to team up with. Those who put themselves together because they knew each other. They chose the name the Rugged Rough Riders.
That's awful.
The greatest worst name in history ever. So I to this day wish they played just so
I think just looking back at like the original There Will Be Trivia Teams tournament or anything like that, and seeing some of the teams and the team names, and also seeing all these people who just like don't exist anymore. I think it's really, really interesting. Like we did this a while ago, and I can't remember.
It was like 2 weeks ago or something.
I was part of the Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Yeah.
You could bring that back and be the Dirty Rotten Nerf Herders.
Team True Bromance, which I think is the team that later became Blockbuster Video.
I mean, that's still a correct team name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about team names that never came to fruition, I mean, the Riders of Brohan is one that, unfortunately, we will never get to see.
Say that.
I need to voice this into existence on air. I talked to Joe and his new partner. That's David. That was formally announced by Tim like last week or whatever. And I pitched them. You know what's a great team name? But like, it fits for Joe is Bronesaw. And then every time before a match,
that was my joke, and you know it was.
Was it?
Because you said Bonesaw, and I went, no, Bronesaw.
Fair. Okay, I forgot about that. Just imagine that is like every time before a match. Oh, Bronesaw, are you ready? And both of them are like, Bronesaw is ready. Like, I can't do the voice, but it's perfect. It'd be an amazing fucking intro, and everyone would hate you, and it'd be so good.
What else?
By the way, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, so I'll just ask for forgiveness rather than permission. But I believe David and Joe are supposed to be the first team that myself and RJ face.
You already said that earlier.
Did they? Okay.
Oh.
Then yeah, go ahead and say it.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting match.
It'll be Dragon Sword versus Bronesaw.
Bronesaw is ready. Oh yeah, dude.
But no,
I've got you for 3 rounds.
When everything happened, Coho messaged us, and he was like we all found out that Ruben was not allowed to play anymore, and then we were on call like a day later, and Coho just out of nowhere just went, "Oh my gosh, I'm kind of sad because I never got to make fun of Riders of Brohan during an actual Riders of Brohan match." And we were like, "Oh man, that's true. That's unfortunate."
It's not too late to convince Joe and David to have that be their new team name.
Yeah. I think
Ooh,
that should be
more Scott
pushed.
Pilgrim media. Yes, please. Scott Pilgrim,
I
the insert a number best movie of all time. You'll have to wait till December to hear more information about that.
It is, of course, the 97th best movie of all time because Cameron Holtzman's a hack.
No, so for those unaware, they're doing the current live YLS thing of the top 100, and then there's a pre-recorded series that we're in the middle of filming, that airs in the winter during the break, where we're doing the top 100 again. But it is me, Andrew Barr, Mike Hanley, and Nazario Montenegro.
Oh.
It is so fun. They're like unexpected friendships have formed.
Some other ones have burned to the ground.
No, nothing's burned to the ground yet.
Yeah.
Because Cody and I aren't friends, so you can't burn to the ground what wasn't there.
Yeah. There's one movie in particular, which I think you know what I'm talking about, which is on both of our top 100s, that I really want to see Cody's opinion on, because I don't know if you said it on the series yet, and I think he might kill you for it.
I'm gonna privately message you right now and ask which one I think it is.
It's the one with the pun you made last night.
I don't remember the pun I made last night. What the?
I don't think I'm good at ranking.
Give me one.
He's going to think deeply about puns.
He's got a list of puns that he's going to go look at.
Exactly. Yeah. I will say. So, yeah, I'm just sitting here vibing. I will say, because of all this, and I've loved what they're doing on that, I've already thought about what should they do next year for the summer series. Because I don't know what it is. I really love the YLS format of just the automatic negativity of it. Of like, you're being judged on your list by the host, not by the fans who you can't predict. The host is like, fuck you, here's why you're wrong on air. For some reason, it's addicting.
It's that, like, I know there's a restaurant that exists out there where you literally go there.
Dick's Last Resort.
By the waitstaff. Yeah.
Oh, God, no.
There's just something.
There's one in Chicago as well. Peggy sent me it the other day.
Yeah. I love going there for my 13th birthday, getting a hat on my head that says "Cum Dumpster," and like, oh yeah, sure, you belong here.
Yeah, I just read the one you sent me. I don't know how Cody's going to react. I think it will probably be negatively. It has not come up yet.
Yeah, but we'll say that pun is still maybe the greatest thing you've ever done.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, there's multiple movies on the list that pun works with.
Yeah.
Because there's a big one. There's a really big movie that might be just like hiding in the background. You know, you might not be able to notice it, but it's pretty big. It's probably just gonna go like right next to your head, right over your shoulder. But no one's gonna guess what that movie could be.
Oh shit!
Right?
It's Window. Oh, it's Rear Window. But
It is, of course, Macbeth. That how do I just
Hey,
2015 Michael Fassbender Macbeth.
Hey, that movie is great and almost made my top 100 actually.
It's probably in my top 200. Honestly, it's really fucking good. All right, so yeah, we're just gonna wrap it up. We've gone for 2 hours. It's probably, I think, our longest show, pretty close to it. The most guests we've ever had, and it's pretty fun.
Yay!
I'm happy to have been on.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna boot Holtzman and Nico. Thank you guys for coming on. But hi, Tony.
Hi.
Again, I've been an asshole about not promoting your stuff, so here is your space. Plug everything that you would like to.
Okay, thanks for that. Hi, it's on me. Feature Presentation Production is the best way to find it. So tomorrow we've got FPP Live, which is going to be the me, Dave, and whoever else been grabbed doing random, just talking bullshit and doing going through the list of greatest movie characters of all time tournament that we're doing. Sunday FPTL. Monday is the watch along of That Thing You Do. Spence, is that correct?
It's tough. Unofficially.
There'll be a watch on Monday. Then Wednesday it'll be my birthday bash, because apparently that's the thing we do on Fancy Fun Fights because we're birthday clowns. And yeah, so please like, subscribe, do all the things. Like, subscribe here, subscribe to Feature Presentation Productions. If you want to take part in it, please sign up on this. Go on the Facebook page. That's the best way to go on if you want to sign up and play. or do anything like the deep cut matches and stuff like that. And yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. And you can find me on Twitter at TemEQ Film Nerd. That's at TEMEKU Film Nerd. Also, I want to remind you, the first match in the opening night Trivia League is dropping on Tuesday. It is a 4-way, and you will get to see the, I won't call it good or bad, the format that I've curated. You guys get to see how that goes down. And yeah, please watch it. I put a lot of effort into it, and hopefully you guys all love what I put out. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I'll see you next week. Also, just to plug it, because I was supposed to talk about it today and unfortunately can't. Hopefully, we can talk about it another time. Multiplex Turmoil, the team free-for-all, is dropping tomorrow, so feel free to check that out. And yeah, I hope you stay safe, stay inside, wash your hands, wash your face. Remember, guys, when coughing, sneeze into your elbow. I have a friend who sneezed in their hand. I was disgusted by that. Please don't do that. I hope you get KO'd. I hope you don't get KO'd. I hope you enjoy having fun with your matches. Hope you study hard. I hope you win and everything going on. And everyone, Black Lives Matter. Please support your fellow friends, people, everything. And with that, I will see you next time. Peace out.